For centuries, families lit their Christmas trees with open flames. Beautiful, yes, but deadly. In 1908, insurance companies stopped paying for Christmas tree fires altogether. Then one invention changed everything. Picture Christmas in the 1870s. Families gathered around pine trees, lit only by flickering candles wedged into branches. It was beautiful. It was tradition. It was also catastrophically dangerous. Candle wax dripped. Needles dried out. Fires spread in seconds. By 1908, insurance companies refused to insure Christmas trees lit by candles. Families had to choose tradition or safety. Then two inventors saw an opportunity. Thomas Edison, the genius who perfected the incandescent light bulb in 1879, knew exactly how to get attention. On New Year's Eve, 1880, he strung electric lights outside his New Jersey laboratory. Railroad passengers saw something they'd never witnessed before: electricity illuminating the night. But Edison's stunt was a marketing move. It took another man, Edward Johnson, Edison's business partner, to imagine Christmas lights as we know them. On December 22, 1882, Johnson did something radical. He hand-wired 80 red, white, and blue glass bulbs and wrapped them around a tree in his New York townhouse. The tree sat on a rotating pedestal. Powered by a generator blocks away, it seemed to defy nature itself. A journalist from Detroit named W.A. Crawford wrote, "80 lights encased in dainty glass eggs presented a most picturesque and uncanny aspect." Johnson added more bulbs every year, 120 by 1884. New York newspapers, dismissing it as an Edison stunt, ignored the story. But the public couldn't look away. If electric lights were so brilliant, why didn't every family have them by 1885? 2 words: impossible cost. To light an average Christmas tree before 1903, you needed 3 things. First, you needed to buy a generator or battery. Second, you needed to hire a trained wireman, our modern equivalent of an electrician, to hand-wire every single bulb. Third, you needed deep pockets. The total bill: approximately $2,000 in today's dollars for a single tree. The average American family made $750 per year. Christmas lights were exclusively for the wealthy. Newspapers called them the rage amongst the high society. Families threw Christmas tree parties to show off their electrical prowess. Then, in 1903, everything changed. General Electric introduced the first pre-wired string of Christmas lights. 8 bulbs, connected to a single wire, ready to plug in. The price, still steep, $12, equivalent to $300 today. But here's the brilliance. GE also offered to rent them. For $1.50, about $40 today, families could rent Christmas lights for the entire season and return them in January. Suddenly, millions of middle-class families had access. By 1914, the cost of a string had dropped to $1.75. By the 1920s, Christmas lights were affordable for most Americans. The transformation was complete, but affordability alone didn't guarantee success. It took a teenager to see what the world needed. Albert Sadaka was just 15 years old in 1917 when a catastrophic fire swept through New York City, started by candles in a Christmas tree. His family owned a novelty lighting company. They made lights for decorating theaters. Sadaka had a vision. Why not sell these lights specifically for Christmas? He proposed battery-powered Christmas light sets to his parents. They said yes. The kits sold like wildfire. Seeing the potential, Sadaka did something brilliant. He organized competing manufacturers into a trade association. In 1925, 15 companies joined forces. They called it NOMA, the National Outfit Manufacturers Association. By 1926, they merged into a single powerhouse company, NOMA Electric. Sadaka, now barely in his 20s, had cornered the Christmas light market and would dominate it for decades. NOMA didn't just sell lights, they invented desire. In the 1930s, during the Great Depression, they launched an aggressive advertising campaign. A pamphlet declared, "The world at Christmas time is the background for a gay, spectacular extravaganza. There are quantities of lamps to be sold." They made Christmas lights seem not just optional, but essential. Patriotic even. The strategy worked. The 1930s became the golden age of Christmas light design. NOMA produced figural lights, lights shaped like Santa, clowns, witches, whatever captured the imagination. Americans fell in love with them. Then came 1946. A New York accountant named Carl Otis had an idea inspired by jukebox bubblers and existing candle lights. He invented the bubble light. Inside the plastic casing, methylene chloride was heated to a low boiling point. The effect? A mesmerizing bubbling flicker, like candlelight reimagined through electricity. In December 1946 alone, Noma manufactured and sold nearly 1 million bubble lights. Most American families had them. They became the must-have Christmas decoration of the era. By the 1960s, Americans were obsessed with space-age design. Aluminum trees became the must-have decoration. They were sleek, modern, perfect. There was just one problem. Aluminum conducts electricity. If a faulty string of lights created a surge, the entire tree would become electrified. A person could be electrocuted simply by touching a branch. The Consumer Product Safety Commission issued urgent warnings. Aluminum trees were rebranded from futuristic to dangerous. Manufacturers shifted to color wheels, rotating discs that projected colored light onto the tree without direct wiring. But by then, plastic trees with realistic needles were entering the market. Noma's market collapsed. Competition from foreign manufacturers finished the job. In 1966, Noma filed for bankruptcy. From the ashes of Noma's failure rose a new standard. In 1970, manufacturers introduced a revolutionary design, the mini light. Smaller, brighter, cheaper. They came on perpetually tangled green wires, a running joke that persists today. Mini lights dominated the Christmas lighting market for 3 decades. They made elaborate displays affordable. Families could wrap their entire homes in light. The 1980s saw the rise of flashing lights and multicolor bulbs. Christmas light competitions emerged. Some homes became destinations. People drove across town just to see spectacular displays. Then came the LED revolution. LED, light-emitting diodes, changed everything. They use 80 to 90% less energy than incandescent lights. A string of 100 incandescent lights uses 40 watts. The same length in LED uses only 5 to 7 watts. A full Christmas tree lit with incandescent bulbs costs about $7.90 to run for the month of December. The same tree in LEDs costs less than $1. LEDs last 25 times longer. They emit virtually no heat, eliminating fire risk. They come in millions of color combinations. Today, over 45% of American households use LED lights for Christmas displays. The transformation is accelerating. The U.S. Christmas light industry consumes 6.63 billion kilowatt-hours annually. With LED adoption, that consumption is dropping dramatically. Urban displays now use about 97% less energy than they did 20 years ago. And we're just getting started. Today's Christmas lights connect to Wi-Fi. They respond to apps on your phone. You can program thousands of individually controlled bulbs to perform synchronized light shows. Systems like Twinkly use computer vision mapping. Your phone's camera measures exactly where each bulb is positioned, allowing for pixel-perfect animation and custom light shows. Some integrate with Amazon Alexa and Google Home. Say the word, and your entire house illuminates on command. From deadly candles to Wi-Fi connected art installations. That's the journey of Christmas lights. Today, 67% of American homeowners display Christmas lights. Americans spend $7.8 billion annually on Christmas lighting and decoration. Families spend an average of $60 on lights alone. Christmas lights are no longer a luxury symbol. They're a universal language of celebration. But it took 140 years and countless innovations to get here. The next innovation? Probably already in a lab somewhere. And in another 50 years, today's smart lights will seem as quaint as bubble lights do to us now. The history of Christmas lights is the history of human ingenuity, solving a problem, and then dreaming bigger. If you love the stories behind everyday objects that change our lives, subscribe for more deep dives into invention, design, and cultural transformation. Let your lights shine, we'll keep telling their stories.